We should be here live. Just posting the link on Twitter and LinkedIn. Posting on Facebook doesn't work. Whatever reason. Feel free to join me live. We have to close social media straight away because it's super distracting. We have, what do we have? What do we have? So the game is live. There should be a link in the description of the YouTube video. To also remember not to check the YouTube analytics while streaming, because it's like they just bombard you with stuff which can be pretty distracting. But I do monitor the chat both in OBS, so hopefully the YouTube API just works, and if you send any messages, they should pop up on my screen, on my other screen. So that's that. We're still testing the game, so we have some description here and the rules. Every game has its rules, but we still testing. So when the ECG is abnormal, it should give us 10 points. And this one is missing a bit. This I expect to be normal. I'm getting points down. Yes, that's what the normal ECG looks like. And the next one, but yeah, the labeling here is not quite aligned. So this one's still considered normal. So it's like there's some sort of misalignment between the label. I think a normal one is coming. The other thing is yeah, it's essentially giving me scores based on this one, but this is not. It's hard to explain. Well, that's what we. Hopefully, we just use ChatGPT to explain this. But there's some problem with alignment, so I explain it here. Yeah, waveform color also doesn't work quite as expected. It meant to change color when the answer is incorrect. So essentially, when you click on it, then whatever, it will be like the false positive when you false positive, false negative, whichever one. When the ECG is actually normal and you clicked on it, you would be getting points down. And so like this one here should give you points down, and it did once. So there's a few things, and so waveform color change is delayed, question mark, I'm not sure. Score is changing, but not always as expected, again, question mark. Is selected waveform. So this selected waveform, let's find it in the code. This is where we actually place it on screen. I don't actually know why it's doing it this way. There's a few questions. We should just be able to add the normal waveform in the waveform names, and then we don't need to if statements. Just get away with one. But let's pop it in here. Why waveform names doesn't have the normal ECG waveform? I forgot whatever it's called. Have the normal ECG waveform. We popped most of it into the code. Sorry, into GPT. We're also testing with Bard as well, but Bard has some other problems. Both hallucinate quite a bit. No, which one? Which LLM is better for writing code? I don't know. Read this quickly.
Default GPT 3.5. / waveforms.js const t values equals new array 800.fill 0.map underscore index equals index slash.
Oh, come on, it's always reading from the wrong. We started this chat yesterday, so it's it did give me simplified and improved code. Doesn't seem to have any comments with, doesn't say which bits were improved. Yeah. I suspect we have to start. Let's start a new chat quickly. We don't use GPT-4 anymore. My thing have. Yeah, last time I was paying for it, it had 50 messages every 3 hours. Now they reduced it to 25. So essentially, they don't want you to use it, even if you pay for it. So I mean, yeah, you either use the API or just use 3.5. I mean, for writing code, it should be good enough. The other problem with GPT-4 is that in the code interpreter is trying to execute everything on the OpenAI server, and well, most of the time it just would not work, and I need everything to run locally. Anyhow, so and GPT 3.5, well, except being cheaper or 3, it's also much faster. So let's pop in the files again. Yes, I can upload multiple files, but again, when you're uploading multiple files, it's actually trying to execute them on the server. We have this one that's working okay. That's actually generating the actual maths behind the waveforms, the different components of each waveform, ECG waveform. And this is the file that we're trying to improve. So pop that in. And yes, it's currently just going over 100 lines of code. It's not ideal. We're trying to break it into 2 parts. That didn't quite work. Yeah, it's generating this simplified and improved version, but it's actually has no comments and it's not clear, and it seems to be the same. But the good thing, it's actually generating the whole code. Which, like yesterday and the day before yesterday, it would not do. Yeah, it seemed to be the same. Um, what? That's that seemed wrong. That's the click event. Bum, 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 bum. Waveform types. Yeah, it's getting confused. It's doing like there should be really two. I mean, there are two events: there's normal and abnormal. But then for labeling, it added a third one. Just read few
The code I
things.
provide will address the issues you mentioned, but it's a simplified version for illustrative purposes. You may need to integrate these changes into your actual game code while considering your specific requirements and structures. Addressing your questions. Waveform color change delayed. The issue might be due to the rendering loop. It's drawing all segments within the loop before updating the canvas. This can cause a delay in the color change. In the improved issue might be due to the rendering loop. It's drawing all segments within the loop before updating the canvas. This can cause a delay in the color change. In the improved version below, I've included color changing directly during the waveform segment drawing.
Okay.
The scoring logic seems correct in your code. However, in the improved version, I've made sure that tagging a segment doesn't cause the score to go below 0. I've also added a check to prevent scores from increasing for previously tagged segments. Added a check to prevent scores from increasing for previously tagged segments. Selected waveform for next appearance. The selected waveform isn't directly indicating the next appearance on the canvas. The waveform segments are drawn in a continuous loop, so that a selected waveform represents the current waveform segment being drawn.
It seemed to understand all the context, and I can't be bothered going over all these codes. I might just try it out. Let's pop in game logic, make a copy of it. These two files we can get rid of, and we update game logic. Into this. No, not the not that. We need the code. Okay. What? The score is rolling up. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. This is no good. Does it mean we have to understand how am I supposed to integrate the the what it's suggesting?
Please note that I've adjusted some parts of the code for simplicity and clarity. You can integrate these changes into your project and adapt them according to your specific needs. If you have any further questions or need more assistance, feel free to ask.
Um, boop, 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 boop. because it needs the context, address the issues one by one. Let's start over. Yeah, from this. Okay, where is it? Modify it in there. No, we need the whole thing.
Color change in the waveform is likely delayed because the code to draw the waveform is inside the loop that processes the waveform data. This means that the color will change only when the loop gets to the specific point in the waveform data. You should consider reorganizing your loop structure to handle the color changes more effectively. Issue 2, score not always changing as expected. There could be various reasons for this issue, including improper scoring logic or handling of tagged segments. It's essential to carefully review your logic for updating the score and ensure that it aligns with the game rules. Issue 3, selected waveform indicating next waveform. The selected waveform is determined by the waveform index, which is used to index into the waveform types array. However, it seems like you might be misunderstanding its purpose. It's not indicative of the next waveform that will appear on the canvas. Instead, it's used to keep track of which parts of the waveform have been clicked and tagged by the player. Suggested improvements. Color change delay fix. To fix the color change delay, you should update the segment color right before drawing each segment in the loop. This way, the color change will be reflected instantly. Move the color assignment lines, ctx.strokestyle equals, inside the loop and before the segment drawing code.
Okay, let's try this. Yeah, I probably need to change. Yeah, I can probably take this out of the loop. Yes, we want to just do this. Don't need that. Uh, oh, it's working better. This is normal. That should go down. That's this is normal again, so it's going down. Yeah, I clicked on this and went up, so I suspect the next one is abnormal. Yes, it's missing that downward bit. This is normal, so score going down as expected. Went up. Yes, that's abnormal. Went up. Should be abnormal. Down. Next one will be normal. But yeah, there's some sort of mismatch. So up again, down. A bit down, that's correct. Up, this should be abnormal. It is abnormal. It's one of the QRS variations. It should go down to an up. But it's probably because I clicked on it like too late. Still don't. Um, yeah, it's not happening with the color. Let's try the logic again.
Carefully review your score logic. Ensure that you're incrementing and decrementing the score based on the user's clicks and that the score is being updated correctly according to the game rules. Waveform index usage. Clarify the purpose of the waveform index. It's not related to the next waveform that will appear. Instead, it's about tracking the position in the waveform data. Simplification and improvements. To address the issues and improve the code, consider the following simplified version of the main game loop. This version focuses on clear segment color changes, correct scoring logic, and proper waveform rendering.
Okay, that's an interesting function. That's a bit odd. Yeah, that one cut it would. Uh, Someone's saying hello, hello. It's fine because the YouTube, um, when it gives me the how many viewers and stuff, it's always delayed because the hello came before the number going up. It separates the waveform. I'm having trouble integrating suggested code into the original one. Can you regenerate the whole game logic JavaScript code? See if it gives me complete code yesterday. was refusing to do so. Kept giving me missing parts. Actually gave me the whole thing. I have a copy of the whole thing just in case. Leave this one. It's much slower. It's a bit. Yeah, that was the original one. It had like smoother lines. It's very slow. Check for initial speed. Make it 5. Doesn't change. What? Still slow. Checking. Yeah, that's correct. Let it go. It's going fast. Keep it 2. Why it's jumpy like this? That's correct so far. This is abnormal. It's missing that bit in the beginning. It's 70, 80. Right. That would be a normal bit. Yeah, because score going down. This one still normal, normal, normal. Going up and down. That's because that's a wrong response. Be going up because that's abnormal. Why is it going down? Expect the next one is normal.